Well. Como está? Mabuhay and Mayo Hapon. Welcome. Sorry, folks. I was supposed to come on at 11:30 this morning. And then I noticed that Will hadn't started his live stream, and I didn't want to come in over top of him. That'd be pretty rude, knowing that he does his live stream on a Sunday. So I waited for that to finish. And and then we had some guests who've just left. So things have been really busy. Drop of the day. What's my preferred drink of the day? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've just got some excellent Pasalubong. We'll start with this one. Friends have just arrived back from the Philippines, and look what they bought me. Tandawai Superior, aged 12 years. So let's have a look. It's a beautiful, this is a really solid container. Beautiful. Oh, let's have a look here. There you go. Tandawai Superior, 12 years old, and it's 40% alcohol by volume, and this is a 700 ml bottle. It's leaking. Yep, it's leaking. Oh, that's a bit strange. Or is that just condensation? No, it's just some sort of condensation. It's not the actual alcohol. So we'll put that back in there. That's the first one. So that's what you call number one Pasalubong. So that's the first one. And then this one, I've never seen this one before. I'm very excited about this one. Tandawai 1854 blended rum. This is 15 years old. So this is another really good quality Tandawai. It sure beats that those Tandawai 65 in the yellow bottle. Ooh, so this even comes in a, look at that. That's even done up like that with a special wrapping. So, oh, wow, look at this. Oh, Tandawai, 1854, 15 years old. Now, there you go, blue label. Whoa, I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll put that back in the bottle. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get when you've got some really great Filipino friends who go overseas and then they bring you back this sort of Pasalubong. So that's is the different sizes. Whoops. So that's the two bottles there. I'm very happy with that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure that if you've got Filipino friends and they go overseas and come back, you'd like that too. But I got a new T-shirt. Now, as you know, I love my T-shirts and I spend a lot of money on Temu getting T-shirts. So this one's really important. So let's have a look at my new T-shirt, folks. Ta-da! Make Australia great again. Pauline Hanson for PM. Yes. Now, I've seen a lot of people going to wonder about where that comes. Okay, now who have we got here? G'day, Wayne. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to everybody. TGR, the Grim Reaper, bottle of leg openers. It certainly is. It certainly is. We're going to have some fun with that one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I've got a few things to tell you. And I got some really interesting suggestions from a friend of mine off the channel about how we should treat our good friend in Taliban with the respect he deserves. Now, a lot of you out there who are viewers of my channel, I know are successful people, and you probably have businesses of your own. So maybe what we should do is donate this time together today to help out our friend in Taliban, Chef Kano, with some of our expertise on how to run a successful business. Because even though Chef Kano tells everybody that he is the most successful businessman and restaurateur on Bohol, I think there's some room for improvement, don't you, ladies and gentlemen? So don't be shy. If you have a wonderful, interesting, and varied opinion of how a restaurant should be run on Bohol to get the maximum number of customers, because at the moment, unfortunately, there's a few empty seats, just a few. So maybe I can get your input and we can pass this along to our friend, Chef Kano, to improve his restaurant business. Now, you will notice, ladies and gentlemen, that through the week, there was an amazing video to show the transformation from no customers to having a restaurant full of customers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an expert friend who's into his knowledge and into his information. Ernesto is joining the panel. Let's have a big hi to Ernesto. G'day, mate. How you going?
G'day, mate. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. What's the time over there in the United States at the moment? Must be late last night.
Yeah, depending on which part of the country you're from, it could be like 8 p.m. It could be 11 p.m.
Right.
The night,
okay, yeah,
the night before.
Yeah, no worries, Stan. How have you been recently? All good? Everything running smoothly where you are?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Running
That's
great.
great.
I have a suggestion for you said you wanted suggestions, right?
Exactly. Go for it.
I think opening up on time is a good suggestion. What do you think?
Well, Ernesto, funny you should say that, because out of the blue, Chef Kano put up a live stream today telling us how he just couldn't be bothered. Screw it, we're not going to open. So I think your suggestion is spot on, because what is the point of having a free promo to bring people to the restaurant if you decide, screw it, I'm not even going to bother opening? Why have a promo to bring customers when you go, screw it, I'm not going to open today? Which is exactly what he told us this morning in his live stream that he did yesterday. Screw it, we're not going to open. Yet on Wednesday, apparently he gave away a whole lot of free food to draw customers in. So they all turn up today because it's the weekend and they say, we got time off, we'll go to this new restaurant, but it's closed. Yeah, I don't think that's really a smart way of doing things. Do you, Ernesto?
No, it seems to me like before you even try the food, you were already like, well, I'm having to wait for them to open because they didn't have everything organized. So before I even try the food, it's like one strike against you.
Well, you know what I was actually disappointed about, and the other day I made a video to say how embarrassed I was for Boss Hog, for Chef Kano, to do what he's doing. Now, so he puts up this promo video about the free pizzas. Now, they'd advertised this all around Taliban. They'd advertised this on their friends' social media for quite a while. Yet what happened? What happened? Absolutely nothing, really. And was it giving away a free pizza? No, it wasn't. 6 or 7 adults turned up with a half a dozen children. Now, not only was the inside of the restaurant not full and plenty of empty seats, there was nobody outside. So this goes to show the absolute lack of any kind of ability to get people into that restaurant. Now, he says that it's normally jam-packed. He says that they're always packed out. He said that there's no room at the tables. Yet when he gives away free food, that wasn't the case. And the food was free. So really, ladies and gentlemen, what do we believe? When he can't fill the place giving away free food, how does he expect us to believe that the place is full when he's charging them or they're paying? It doesn't make sense unless you're Raymond or Stacey, who believe anything. You know, if you go to the comments on his videos, everybody is commenting, wonderful, your restaurant is booming. Well, where do they get that from? Certainly not from his videos. I don't know how anybody can make a comment like that. Can somebody please explain that to me? Let's have a look what Bullwinkle has to say. He says, insurance, a can of petrol and a box of matches might net him a profit. Very good, Bullwinkle. But we now know that the seeds he planted in our minds a couple of live streams ago are going to come to fruition. Because yesterday, or was it the day before, when he puts up a video about making his new roof, he's telling us in no uncertain terms that he's got other plans. That now, what's going to happen, and exactly what I said it would happen a few other videos ago, is that it's the same stage, just a different set. Same group of characters, but the same tired old story. And now I said, wait until we get a new drama coming out of the Bohol, because he's done the restaurant to death. He's now got to go back and find a new drama to suck everybody in to paying his way in life, which is what he's got going for him. Nothing else but making a drama and an ongoing saga and soap opera, so that everybody will keep involved, and that now becomes the new roof. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you'll remember that recently I got my bathroom renovated. I told you it cost us something like 16,000 Australian dollars, which it did. Well, it's only just recently coming to the stage where it's getting finished. We still haven't got the glass shower screen in. Everything else is done except for the glass shower screen, so that's holding us up. But, ladies and gentlemen, we got all the new tiling done. We got all the new plumbing done. We got all the new bathroom fitting done, the shaving cabinet, the actual bathroom cabinet with the basin in it and all the fittings for that. We got all the new bathroom racks and all that sort of stuff, all the new bathroom fittings, the shower fittings and everything else. And we got that all done step by step by step, post by post. But did I make a video every day telling you exactly to the closest dollar how much it costs? No, I didn't. So isn't it amazing, ladies and gentlemen, that every time Chef Kano feels like making a video, everything has to be costed down to the last peso? And I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but if you're in business and you're paying the same in your business electricity costs as you're paying in your Bohol homestead, you're a pretty clever guy, because don't you think that a commercial kitchen would run a lot more electricity? Except on Fridays when, screw it, we're not going to open. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a couple of things to point out to you here. And if you notice, I said, while I was lining this up, it said I would have some information for Chef Kano that could be quite arresting. Well, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get this up for you so I can tell you exactly what that arresting information is. And there's two lots of it, ladies and gentlemen. Two lots have come up within the last week. So let me tell you about that. Where are we? Here we go. Now, I've just got to pull up the right conversation. There it is. Now, where are we? Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at this. You will notice that in all his live streams, whether it be from the Bohol, Chef Kano is sitting down in front of the camera, chain smoking. And he does this quite openly at the restaurant. American guy who did a vlog on him told us quite plainly that there he is in the back in the kitchen smoking. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that smoking inside the restaurants and restaurant kitchens is illegal in the Philippines under Executive Order number 26 of 2017 and Republic Act number 9211? These laws prohibit smoking in all enclosed public places, workplaces, and areas where food is prepared, which is aiming to ensure smoke-free environments. The key details of restaurants and kitchens are that smoking is prohibited in dining areas and kitchens, yet we regularly see and hear and are told that when people go there, here is Chef Kano in the kitchen, chain smoking. Smoking areas, designated smoking areas, is only permitted in strictly regulated outdoor areas that meet specific standards. For example, non-enclosed, properly ventilated, separated from pedestrian traffic areas. Well, where he sits at his table in the outside area, halfway in from the footpath and halfway into the door of the restaurant, is in direct pedestrian traffic. They have to walk past his table, which he's showing us, covered in Red Horse bottles and full ashtrays. That's pedestrian traffic area. So violators can face fines ranging from 500 pesos to 10,000 pesos, while businesses, which apparently he says he's a business, may face license revocation for repeat offences. Every video live stream that he's shown us from that store, from that slop house that he calls a restaurant, he sits there chain smoking, directly in line of pedestrian traffic that want to enter or exit that restaurant, if not while he's inside the restaurant itself. Businesses may face license revocation for repeat offences. Enforcement is the local government units who are not doing their job. But of course, even if they did do their job, Chef Kano is Chef Kano. Obviously, he's exempt. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's just the first of many violations that this man is guilty of. And yes, Bullwinkle, you're correct. Anybody in the Philippines who knows anything about anything, and Bullwinkle obviously does, the Philippines Clean Air Act. But Chef Kano is exempt. He doesn't have to follow the rules. He doesn't have to worry about your health or your cleanliness or the hygiene standards of a restaurant because he's Chef Kano. Your food quality, food preparation areas, and food presentation doesn't matter to him. He's exempt. He's allowed to do these things. But listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. I've got something rather interesting here. Another area of illegality. Let's have a listen to this. Let's just have a listen to this. Now, recently we saw a video or a live stream, I can't remember which one it was. Now, Chef Kano tells us that he's converted his electric appliances to gas. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael is in the audience. Hello, Michael. Great to see you. I will again.
Hello, Michael.
Yeah. Michael, hang on a sec. I'll just put this up. Copy. Paste. There you go, Michael. If you'd like to take advantage of that, that's entirely up to you, of course. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to Boss Hog and his big announcement, how smart he is, changing his electric appliances over to gas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me just give you a rundown on this. Not only is this involved with safety, I mean, I don't want to sit in a restaurant that might blow up in my face. But listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the rules and regulations and laws of how you do things in the Philippines, direct from the government website. Converting an electric oven to gas in a business in the Philippines is not inherently illegal, but doing so without proper licensed professional installation and strict adherence to safety codes is against the law and highly dangerous. So here are the key legal and safety considerations based on Philippines law plus general safety standards, licensing and permits. Okay? Republic Act 11592. Here's Michael, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to bring him in to say hello, and then I'll continue with the regulations that cover this. Michael, how are you going? Good to see you, son.
Yeah, good to see you as well.
Yeah, great. Hey, can I ask, have you still got the, yes, you've still got the wrench next to your name, so you are quite capable of kicking and booting in chat. So if you'd like to monitor that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, that's cool. And I'll just continue with advising potential customers what could possibly go wrong when they visit those premises and what is wrong visiting those premises at the moment. But it doesn't matter because Chef Kano is exempt because he is Chef Kano. So here are the key legal and safety considerations based on Philippines law. Republic Act 11592. It is illegal to install or convert gas equipment without a license, a permit, or certificate from the Department of Trade and Industry and authorised authorities. Now, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but did I miss the part in the video when he told us that he had converted all his stuff from electricity to gas? Did I miss the part where he told us that he had applied for a permit from Department of Trade and Industry? Did I miss that part? I must have, because I don't remember, and I went back over it and hearing or seeing anything about that. All I saw or heard was that he had done it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the safety standards, again, Republic Act 9514, the fire code of the Philippines requires commercial kitchens to use non-combustible materials and to ensure proper ventilation to present a fire hazard. Just this morning, he tells you how that kitchen is so hot and the extractor fan doesn't work when there's a power cut. So all that gas going, there's no extractor fan working. Is that not causing a fire hazard? So professional installation is required. Conversion must be done by a qualified registered gas technician. Do-it-yourself conversions are illegal and pose risk of gas leaks, fire and explosions. So he told us plainly that he got this electrically powered appliances converted by his handyman, William Tatai, who I have no knowledge of being a qualified gas fitter or registered gas technician. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a bomb site waiting to happen before. What is it now? If you are stupid enough to walk in the doors of that place,
it's a dumpster fire. A dumpster fire.
It's just a gas bomb waiting to go off. But he's done it, Chef Kano, without any authorization, without any care to anybody's safety, because they're only minions. Don't forget, they're only minions. I don't ever remember anywhere, people, in any way, shape or form, of being shown a qualified regulatory gas certificate training qualification diploma by his father-in-law, William. At no time has that ever been represented to us as being the case. Yet this handyman, jack of all trades, has illegally converted using whatever. We all know how they do things, ladies and gentlemen. Jury rig this and bits and pieces that and whatever junk will do the job. That's how it's done. And just this morning, complaining, whinging and bitching about the quality of air inside that kitchen when the extractor fan's not working because of a brownout. Well, ladies and gentlemen, imagine the gas buildup, which has been done by an unqualified person when the law clearly states that it has to be done by a registered qualified gas technician. Well, who in their right minds wants to go anywhere near that IED? Because that's what it is. It's an unexploded roadside bomb.
Hey, GD, can we clarify whether Tatai is a father-in-law or just an Eskimo brother?
We have no idea, because according to Maricel's birth certificate, he would have had to be 12 years of age when she was born.
So do you know what an Eskimo brother is?
No idea,
Eskimo
mate.
brother is just two guys who had sex with the same woman. Now they're
All right.
Eskimo brothers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, the entire relationships are weird. Why does a woman leave her family seat? Now, in the Philippines, families don't leave their family area. If you're born and bred in Cebu, you don't go and live on Leyte. If you're born and bred in Negros Occidental, you don't go down to Davao. If you're from Davao, you don't go to Luzon. So why did this woman from Mindanao end up in Bohol and her father chasing along after her? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Nothing about these two makes sense. And if they're from this area, they say they are from Mindanao, no wonder they don't eat pork. Make of that what you will. But anyway, just getting back to this, liability of doing this conversion without a licensed, qualified gas installer. If an unlicensed conversion causes a fire or injury, the business owner faces criminal penalties and fines ranging from 50,000 pesos to 5 million pesos and suspension of licenses and possible imprisonment. So, Maricel, you better be watching this. As confident as you may be in the handy work of the guy known as Tatai or William, or supposedly your father, as handy as he may be, if anything happens, you can face up to 5 million in fines, you'll lose all your licenses, and you could go to jail. What do you think of that? It's not clever what's being done in that restaurant. It's bloody stupid. It's criminal. And any customer that walks in there and anything that happens to them, oh my God, can you imagine what's going to happen to you? The lawsuits and the cases filed against you will be huge. But you don't care. This is the thing about these people, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you've got to get through your head. No matter how many of the dumbasses out there that comment on, oh, the restaurant is doing wonderful. No, well, the fact of the matter is it's not. We all know that. It's not doing wonderful at all. If it's doing so wonderful, why do they have to give away free food? But ladies and gentlemen, the promo was free pizza, not one slice. Imagine what the word's now got around Taliban. The very small idiot lack of people that turned up. What? Have a look at the video of his pizza promo. There were like 6 or 7 adults with a pack of kids. They didn't get a pizza. They got a slice of a pizza. I mean, how miserable. He was complaining that he actually had to make 6 pizzas. He's doing a free promo, and he made 6 pizzas. Oh, wow. This is the successful man whose business is packed out every day full of customers. He's selling so much, his sales are so good, it's not funny. Is whining and whinging that on his free promo day, he gave away 6 pizzas, all sliced up.
GD, they're pouring soda out of 2-liter bottles and recapping it. It's
I saw that.
unbelievable.
I saw
And
that.
they're storing that soda overnight.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's a clown show.
Yeah. But here's the thing. He does a free giveaway. What he said in the video was, this will help get the word out. Which, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I thought the word was already out. If it's packed every day, if he's got so many customers in all the time, if his sales are so well, if he's so happy with what's happening every day, and he's got customers left, right, and center every day, why does he need to get the word out? It's already out, isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Or is Chef Kano confused? Has he got a packed restaurant every day? Is he doing well every day? Or is it not? So much so not that he has to give away stupid promos when half a dozen people turn up and nobody's come back. Now, if you do a promo to get people in on the Wednesday and you just say to yourself on the Friday, oh, I'm not even going to bother opening the doors, what is the point of any of it? Who out there thinks that that's good business? Who out there can say, I'm the best businessman in my county here in Little Rock or here in Massachusetts or wherever. I'm the best businessman around, but I'm just going to close my doors for the day. Is that good business? I don't think it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now back on the drama. The restaurant has obviously fallen flat on its face. There's no, look, it couldn't even fill the place giving away free food. Even the inside of the restaurant wasn't full. There was nobody outside. If you give away free food at a restaurant in the Philippines, you would be crushed in the rush. His reputation is so bad, nobody wants to go anywhere near him. And the people that did probably are now running around all over Telebon saying, what a joke. We went there for our free pizza. We got one slice and it was bloody horrible.
Yeah. His excuse for leaving YouTube was he wouldn't have time for it because of the restaurant and how busy he was going to be at the restaurant. Now, since he's coming back to YouTube, that must be because he's not so busy at the restaurant.
That's right. And now he's now started to concentrate on itemizing every cost for putting up this new roof on his house. Now, didn't he say that he was going to start that 8 months ago in his last video, his last live stream where he showed us that they're going to be, well, he's just starting now because the restaurant didn't prove out to be this cash cow that he thought it was. The restaurant just turned out to be such a huge flop, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why we really need to get as much input into this forum to pass on, because he's watching and his minions are watching so that they can pass on the information to him so he knows what's going on GD's channel. This is what they do. So hi, Raymond. Hi, Stacey. When you contact them on your secret little Facebook page that you've all got together so you can all wank together, let them know that we know that the restaurant's finished. He's even told us himself in his live stream where he says, well, you know, I'm considering shutting it all down. And that's when I knew that very soon we would be getting a drama back out of the Bohol. And what happened? Bingo. 2 days later, we get this starting the new roof with all the cost itemized down to even pulling out the old nails to use the old nails. Well, I don't know how you could do that on steel frame. You don't use nails. You have to use self-tapping screws with hex nuts on the top. So why he's bothered to pull rusty old nails out of cocoa lumber, you can't hammer anything into steel frame with a nail. So, you know, but that just goes to show you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the difference between him and me is that he's an e-beggar. Why does a person have to consistently and continually go over every single item of produce to do a project and cost every single item? Every item. And that's what he did in his roof video. Was so clear about the cost of every item that he hasn't got and can't afford. And ladies and gentlemen, tugging at your heartstrings. Send me money. It's the same crap it always has been. The restaurant fell flat on its face. There's no money coming in there. He's lost his shirt. How's he going to pay for this? He's going to make videos about it and tug at your heartstrings and put the seeds in your mind that the money is needed. It's the same tired old thing it always has been. Last video, last live stream, are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Ladies and gentlemen, what's actually happened is he's morphed from the bad farmer to quite simply, what do you call it? The bad restaurateur. The guy on his own is utterly hopeless. Utterly, totally hopeless. There's no other, what do you call it, description for the guy. The only thing that this restaurant done for him is give him another nickname. Chef Kano. It's the only positive thing that's come out of it for anybody, is to give him another nickname. Now, I'll give you an example, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just go back to this. Hang on, I'm just going to go over here. I'm changing screens on my on mine. Now, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at his last video, starting the roof rebuild. Now, I'm not going to bother about the actual video itself. I'm going to go down to the comments concerning the first comment, David Evans. He's a master on what he does, very good worker. He's referring to Tatai, William. But is he a qualified gas fitter? Does he have the permits to do the gas conversions at the restaurant? No. So Raymond, now this is the funny thing, ladies and gentlemen, people are raving on about how many comments Boss Hog, Chef Kano, is starting to get on his videos. He's got 19 comments here, but as people point out, 10 of them are from Ray. So Ray says, most of the Filipinos here in our gang are subscribers. Oh, my God. Raymond, congratulations, another 100 subscribers in 30 days. Even more so now the restaurant is up and running. Yes, up and running where? Straight to bankruptcy. So, Raymond, now you're talking my language, steel. Well, tell me where you nail nails into steel, Raymond. So, yeah, here's another thing, the good guy. Why is everything filmed in 480p like it's 1985? And Chef Kano says, why? Question mark, because that's the best resolution my camera equipment can produce. But didn't he say...
He means no budget.
Yeah, that's exactly right. In other words, I need a new camera. But didn't he tell us months ago that he was getting fiber optic to upgrade everything because he was embarrassed at the quality that he was giving his viewers and he was ashamed of it and he was going to do something about it? But now he's telling us here that he's only got low quality produce. So he lies continually and treats his viewers continually like bloody idiots. You know, it's just unbelievable. Here's a viewer, Duke, telling him that there's a typhoon on the way. Well, didn't he jump on that straight away? Thanks for the heads up on the weather. You know,
that is Hog is wishing right now for a typhoon.
Yeah.
If he could get a typhoon just come through and destroy the whole place to where he could get back in the van and go steal signal from the local grocery store and get online and beg for money in the van. If he could do that, that would be his greatest dream, to be able to run another begathon again.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But I love this last comment by Raymond. What do you think, Brevis? We were correct. Brian has a social security and the restaurant is booming. Raymond, where, anywhere, is the restaurant booming? If it was booming, he wouldn't have to have promos giving away free food to get people in. He tells us that the place is packed. He's happy with the sales. It's always busy, yet we've never seen that happen. And if that's the case, why does he need to get the word out? If everything that he told us about the restaurant was true, well, wouldn't the word already be out, obviously, for everybody to be coming, for it to be full all the time, to have so many customers? So the word is either out or the word is not out. What is it? There are so many contradictions about this. It's not funny. But that's only the first one. Let's have a look at another one. Let's have a look at, say, the live stream from 5 days ago. Let's have a look at the chat. Ride the horse. Oh, my God. They're talking about Red Horse is cold and Van Turner back on thing. No, we've already been over that where he's rubbishing Miyazawa, having multiple male companions. I mean, there is something wrong with that guy. Everything to do with anybody of friends of Chef Kano is pornographic or bestial. There's something seriously, seriously wrong with these people. Seriously wrong with these people. When it comes to description of anything, they are just perverts. They really, really are. So let's just have a go here. The comments are what gets me. I just can't get over the comments. Now, this live stream this morning, which had some ridiculous stuff in it. The comments don't come up for about another 24 hours. But the comments on the free promo visit. Eunice Johnson, absolutely wonderful promo and a help to the public. Love it. Absolutely wonderful promo. Look at this. I'm looking at the beginning of it, lady. Oh, well, let's go to, it's a 10-minute, 24-second video. So let's go right through to 6 minutes, 28. He's got several tables here with 1 or 2 people on it. Okay, let me just count. I said about 6 or 7 adults. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 adults. That's all. There's nobody outside, and there's a half a dozen kids, and they're giving away one slice of. I mean, it's not a very nice looking pizza.
Let's break that down when you get a second, GD. Let's break it all down when you're ready.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing. If you have a look at 7 minutes and 18, it shows you the board with all the prices on it. Pepperoni pizza. Now, he said he sells 40 pizzas a day. Well, I've got a calculator here, ladies and gentlemen, and his cheapest pizza that we can see on the board is 269 pesos. So let's just say that all he sold was the cheapest all day long. Pepperoni pizzas. 269 pesos, 269, pesos times 40 a day. So he's trying to tell us that he's selling 10,760 pesos worth of pizzas a day. Now, if you divide 10,760 pesos, let's just roughly 56 to the dollar. So that's $192 a day. Didn't he say that he would like to make a profit of 100 American dollars a day? Well, if he sold 40 pepperoni pizzas, but what if he sold, there's a combination pizza at $4.59, there's a veggie lovers pizza at $3.69. Now, what if he sold a combination of those? The minimum he's making is 10,000 pesos a day on pizzas, according to him, selling 40 a day. Ladies and gentlemen, none of it adds up. None of it adds up. But then again, I'm just a realist, and I just look at the facts, you know. Here's a nice comment from the Grim Reaper, Brian Trump Smith. Lie. Well, Grim Reaper, you'd be about right. But we need something to give him, ladies and gentlemen. We need to show him that we care, that we're worried. This is what he wants. He's after sympathy, and he's only got Raymond to exaggerate it. And then he's got Stacey to lick his ass after the fact. We really need to go in there and prop him up. We need to help this guy out. Things are dire, ladies and gentlemen. They're so dire that he has to pull rusty nails out of a piece of wood to save money.
How many people would you say showed up for his pizza giveaway?
Well, like I say, I just checked the video. 7 adults and about 10 kids. That was it.
Okay. So let's say they had 3 pizzas, right? And then they say, okay, we're ready to go. We're open up. That would mean everybody got 1 piece.
Yeah. Well, that's all they got, 1 piece each. And he was whinging about giving them away. It was a free promo. What did he expect? What if the place had been flooded? What if everybody had turned up like he was hoping? I mean, what was he hoping for? But to put that video up in there, Stowe, with 7 adults, he'd been advertising us all over Telebon. He got his Filipino friend to put it all over his social media. 7 adults and a bunch of kids turned up for his free promo.
Yeah.
Would you call that a success? I'd call that a downright disaster.
No, it was a failure.
Yeah, complete failure. How many people live in Telebon? Thousands. That intersection is the busiest piece of road in the whole of Telebon. You can't move in Telebon, go into Telebon, or come out of Telebon, or get around Telebon unless you use that intersection. 7 adults and a bunch of kids turned up for his free promo at his restaurant. That's not a failure. That is a complete and utter total destruction. That is beyond a joke. That's beyond embarrassing. That's sad, pathetic, and just woeful that you can't get more than 7 adults and a bunch of kids to your restaurant to give away free food. In the Philippines, I mean that is diabolical to say the least. It's practically unthinkable. When I saw that video, I thought, he's not seriously putting this video. I couldn't believe that he would put it up. I thought we'd get him sitting in the bowl saying, "Well, we had the promo today; it was really good." Telling his lies that the place was packed, and blah blah blah. But to actually show how woeful it was, put the video up about it. If this is what the best businessman in Bohol can come up with, he needs our help. He really needs our help.
Can I ask you a question? I don't know what Jollibee does in the Philippines, but do they have like a soda fountain where you fill up your own soda, or do they fill it up? Do they use 2-liter plastic bottles or 1-liter plastic bottles? How do they do it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been to Jollibee for ages. I actually don't like Jollibee. I don't know why they rave over it so much over there. The last time I went to Jollibee, I ordered their burger. I got this little thing. It's about that round. Not much bigger than a 50-cent piece, just 2 little things. It had what was supposed to be a mint patty that was, like I say, what was the size of a 20-cent piece, with some pinkish gunk on it, and that was it. And that was what they called a hamburger. And I just looked at it and I thought, you've got to be joking. It was the most foul piece of food, and I've never been back. I just couldn't be bothered. But, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, the initial setup of the slop house was done with rubber tubes and hose clips to the gas appliances that he had at the time, completely outside the regulations. Now, he's done even worse. He's taken the electricity out of electrical appliances and he's jimmied it up with rubber hoses by an unqualified man. Do you want to go into that restaurant and have your head blown off when it all explodes? His own admission today is that the kitchen is unsafe, that the temperatures in there are diabolical. You can't be in there when the electricity goes off. He says, if the electricity's off, it doesn't matter because we've converted over to gas. But you didn't do so legally. Where's the permit you got from DTI? The funny thing is, ladies, if I was doing anything that he's doing, I'd be telling you the whole story, not part of it. I'd be saying, well, we converted over to gas after getting in a qualified technician. I would have made a video of the qualified technician doing it. You know what I mean? But Chef Kano is exempt from all the rules. Chef Kano is exempt from all the regulations. Chef Kano is exempt from making sure that your environment is safe, that when you walk in there, things aren't going to blow up. Now, you can't tell me that one of those gas bottles going off isn't going to take you and blow you and your brains and your guts clean across the other side of that intersection. That's exactly what's going to happen. He doesn't care. He's Chef Kano. Ladies and gentlemen, how much more can the lies and the stupidity of this bloke get people to hang on and support him, to tune into it? These idiot comments from the people that do tune in. So great to see that the restaurant is doing so well. Well, where did they see the restaurant doing so well? Honestly, genuinely, please, anybody out there can tell me, I saw a section in a video or a live stream from Boss Hog today, and the restaurant is doing so well. Where? When? It's not happening.
Show me the reviews that are positive. Show me some positive reviews where people have come in and gave good reviews about the restaurant. All I've seen is reviews that say things like, your hamburgers are gritty and the place smells like smoke. I wonder if they're smoking inside the kitchen.
Yeah, which, as I've pointed out, under the Republic Acts is totally illegal. He's not allowed, the minute he walks in that place with a cigarette, he's broken the law. and Maricel can face fines of up to 5 million pesos, losing all her business license and being sent to prison. She obviously doesn't know or doesn't care. But one day, there's going to be somebody like me or a Filipino. Now, you know, if you get a Filipino that gets insulted and you piss them off, they don't give up. And if they start making complaints, he's at it. But so is Maricel, by employing a guy that she's not allowed to employ in the first place. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, no foreigner can work in a business in the Philippines that the position they're working in can be taken by a Filipino. What's he doing there that a Filipino can't? Just by that alone, ladies and gentlemen, he's not supposed to be on those premises. No job can be taken in the Philippines that a Filipino can handle. Are you telling me that what he does in that place, there's no Filipino qualified anywhere on Bohol to do what he does? Oh, give me a break. But to do what he does, using unqualified labour to modify appliances that can blow up in your face, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, where does the bullshit end and some sense of responsibility towards the people that you're hiring to work there? You know, he carries on about these people. I said a long time ago that Boss Hog is a narcissist, and it's proved in the way that he continually insists on calling his so-called father-in-law, William, Tatai. Tatai is simply the Bisaya word for father-in-law. Ernesto, are you married?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, well, if you were married, would you call, every time you saw your wife's father, would you go, hello, father-in-law? Or would you call him Bill or Fred or John, whatever his name is? If he knocked on the door, would you say, oh, hello, father-in-law? No, you wouldn't, would you?
No, I would call him by his name. The only reason I would
That's
say
right.
father-in-law is if I was introducing him to somebody, I would be like, this is my father-in-law.
Right. Well, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's not normal. And the reason Chef Kano does this is because he's a narcissist and he wants to make sure that everybody around him is less than him. He wants to put himself in a light that he is superior. That's why he calls himself the big boss. That's why he's in charge. That's why everybody else around him is a minion, less. So he calls the supposed father-in-law Tatai, which is the word for father-in-law. Why doesn't he call him William? Because William is actually quite a nice-sounding name. It sounds like the name of a person who's got some intelligence, so some you know, get up and go. It sounds like a good name. It sounds like an educated name. Why does he call the kid who works for him E-Boy? What is E-Boy's name? He likes to surround himself and use names that sound ridiculous so that Brian sounds important.
It's all very paternalistic. It sounds so paternal.
Yeah, he likes to make other people around him look less important, look almost stupid, with stupid names, stupid sounding names. I mean, a grown man, who calls a grown man E-Boy? Even if it's an affectionate family name, you don't do that. Mothers might call it, aunties might call it, lolos and grandmothers might call it, but a man to another man doesn't call another man E-Boy. That's an affectionate childhood term by the woman in the family. But Boss Hog does it because it makes the kid look stupid and it makes him look more important. I'm Brian, that's E-Boy. Obviously, you're going to have to deal with a Brian who's way more intelligent, smarter, and more presentable than E-Boy or Tatai. And that's why he does it, ladies and gentlemen, because he's a narcissistic prick.
Yeah,
you know,
he calls them minions. He calls them minions, like you
yeah.
said.
Yeah, Bullwinkle, I'm not sure. Wonder why little Charlie don't call him Lolo. Yeah, exactly. Well, the kid can't speak anyway.
I'm still wondering, you know, you say that they call him this and they call him that, but I still want to know if Brian is just the Eskimo brother of Tatai. Like,
look, we're never going to know. The secret's going on there are closely guarded. I think they're probably you know, like the relationship of Epstein's people. There's so many really weird parts of that relationship. You know, it's almost Epstein related, you know, in that category of real sick, twisted, intertwined shit going on. Because they're not honest about it, they never have been. And when questioned
Jeff,
about it, they run a mile and make excuses.
Jeff, do you think Gina was involved romantically with Tatai, or was it just a living together arrangement? Or do you think that they were romantically involved?
You know, originally it was Tata and Gina, right?
Yeah.
And you would have thought that it was a physical relationship, not, you know, like, but now it's just, yeah, that was completely weird too. If it was normal, there would have been an explanation as to why it split up, but there wasn't. There never was. Not a word. 1 minute she was there, 1 minute she wasn't. No explanation of any kind, and that's not normal. Oh, look, we've been together for 15 years and we just came to a parting of the ways. You know, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Is William Red's father? If you know, like, there's never a mention of him seeing Red or Red going to see him. I mean, it's just not normal. The relationships at the Bohol, none of it is normal. None of it. And I get back to this, and I get back to the morals of second best. She's got no morals. Look, there's no way in the whole wide world the Filipinos that I know would stand for the bloke that they're supposed to be betrothed to or engaged to getting another woman pregnant behind their back, which is exactly what Chef Kano did with Marley. While he was with Maricel, before they got married, he went there. They were in a definite relationship. There was no two ways about it. But while they were in that definite, determined relationship behind her back, he went out with Marley, got her pregnant. And she still accepted that and went ahead later and married him. I don't know any Filipino who would do that. All the Filipinos I know would have dumped him like a ton of bricks. But why did she accept it? Why did she take him on and marry him? Why did she come up and leave her family in Mindanao to come up to this loser?
Because she was lying to him too. She was lying to him also.
Yeah.
She was working her own game at the same time. Like, you're just thinking this like two people going into it consensually, but Brian wanted to marry her and she had her own agenda on the back end. And she's putting that back end together right now. And he's gonna get worked. You'll see.
It makes me wonder if there's anybody out there that actually have any real knowledge of these relationships, because they're so secretive about them, and they're really twisted. In fact, it almost becomes a little perverted and sick. You know, it's almost sick. There's something very, very wrong going on there on a number of levels, and they hide it and won't discuss it, and it's all twisted and the innuendo. Why don't they just clear it up? Because I think that if they did and came out and told the truth, they'd be seen to be the degenerate, low-life scum that they really are. What do you think? What do you think? There's got to be something really bad in second best history for her to have cleared out from Mindanao. Filipino women do not abandon their families like that and just move out like that. They just don't do it. Not decent ones. None that I know do it. I don't know any decent Filipino woman that's done what she's done. And I don't know any man of William's age who just ups from his land, his family land in one province of the Philippines to move clear across to another island just like that and have nothing more to do with it. I mean, When was the last time he went back to his family, to his land, to his heritage, to his people? When? I think they've been down there once, and then basically nobody wanted to know them. No one came anywhere near them. They're pariahs in their own family. Pariahs, absolute outcasts. You know, the last time they went down there was to steal money from the government by enrolling Charlie in this program to get money. And then when we reported that, that was the kibosh for that. And the other woman that was staying up there with her 2 kids, she couldn't come back to Bohol because we dobbed her into social welfare there. They went back down to Mindanao to enrol their kids in some sort of social welfare plan to get money. And we just contacted social welfare and said, well, that woman doesn't live in Mindanao. She's not entitled to get that money because she's living and working on a farm in Bohol. Well, didn't the shit at the fan, and she never went back and she stayed there because she didn't want to be associated with these low-life, thieving, cheating, scumbag relatives that she got. Mate, the whole saga is just degenerate. You know, this attitude of they can do anything they damn well want because they're associated with this Kano. Who's what? He's on the run from the United States because he's a bum, grifting idiot with warrants out for his arrest for financial crimes.
Hey, I mean, let's not, and please, let's not forget about his neighbor, Gary and Elnora. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
Okay. He went to the courts through that in the Philippines. He came back with a letter saying that it was basically nothing. But my point is you had to have somebody have enough evidence to accuse you of something. Then you have to go in and defend yourself against it. And why would you have to defend yourself unless you did something? And then you get a result. But my point is that he has had basically confrontations with his neighbors, with everybody since the start.
It's amazing how it seems everybody around him has the problem, not him. Or, as you say, all his neighbours. He's never gotten on with anybody. Everybody has left and gone away. You know, the classic examples are Lester and Chat. The young lady next, it's that long ago, I've forgotten, there's been that many of them, the young eco farm girl from next door and her pommy husband, her English husband. It doesn't matter who comes anywhere near them. Then Mike and May, anybody who has anything to do with them has long gone. You know, he trotted out all these people. There were other people that have got houses and farms and around him, you know, and all that sort of stuff. If you go into his playlist, you know, our friends, well, where are they? Not once have I seen these people go to the restaurant and sit down with them. Oh, great restaurant, you know, good to support you, all this sort of stuff. None of the friends of the past have anything to do with Chef Kano. None of them. Nobody has stuck with this guy. He hasn't got one single person on his channel. Even crooks like Jerry. Oh, didn't he get killed? Someone killed him. Because that's what happens in Bohol when you're full of shit. You get killed. And that's now his friends are getting knocked off, killed. Let's face it, Jerry was just a criminal. He was just another thug. But Boss Hog thought it would be good to get allied with him because he was getting into so much trouble. Boss Hog shit himself over the road to Mike and May's place. And that's why he lined himself and got all friendly with Jerry, so that the local people knew that he had a hitman enforcer on his team. Now that Jerry's been killed himself, oh my God, you know, it just wonders. So here's another thought from Bullwinkle. Even the guy who bought the eco farm had words with him. Well, I've always wondered what happened there. We never hear anything. He's not made any videos about it. We haven't seen anything. So has the guy next door put the hard word on him and said, mate, either shut up or I'll bloody deal to you? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, anybody that's come into contact with Boss Hog, with Chef Kano, is gone. It's finished. They've just left. Where is Brian Dubbs, the third member of the Mike and May and Pete and Brian Dubbs? Where's he? What happened to his mate American guy making the videos? He's dropped off the face of the planet. He hasn't bothered to come back. Yet for the first couple of videos that he made, oh, he couldn't praise them enough. He loved them. Oh, this is great. You know?
Yeah, Mike and May are gone. I mean, Mike and May are gone.
So Bullwinkle saying no videos, but he's left comments on Jackie's channel. Is that oh, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. That's American guy, is it? Yeah. You know, remember Commander Dale? Now, he copped so much shit on his channel for having anything to do with Brian Smith. There isn't a word. That guy specifically went to Bohol to make videos about what's going on in Bohol, where to go in Bohol, who to see in Bohol, blah, 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 blah. Yet not a single mention in any of his videos with anything to do with Brian Smith and a restaurant in Chalabar, Bohol. Nothing, not a word anywhere. And he made no reference whatsoever to his visit, when the whole point of his going to Bohol was to tell everybody about what's going on Bohol. He featured all these other areas and attractions on Bohol, everything, but he never ever mentioned, not even a word, not even a sentence to say, oh, by the way, I also stopped by a new restaurant called Kano. Nothing, not even that in his video. Nothing, not a single word anywhere. Because even this commander, this young fella, knew that to have anything to do with Brian Smith or to say anything about him on his channel would crucify his own channel. He'd be stabbing himself in the back. That's how bad the guy is. So, okay, Borgle, Tubbs has started a new channel about finances. Well, that's insane. I mean, yeah, this man was dumb enough to get into a three-way agreement with a con man, and he's going to tell people about finances.
Yeah,
he was the third. Yeah, he was the third party of three guys stupid enough to get mixed up in financial deal with Brian Smith. I mean, of all the moronic, stupid shit I've heard, you know, a guy like that making a channel talking about money, you've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding. That's absolutely amazing. Oh, I just don't believe that.
Yeah. Buy some land from a lady who hasn't signed the land over to you, and use a broker like Boss Hogg to buy your land. That's some great business advice.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's illegally converted his gas appliances without the proper permits and the proper equipment and the proper qualified guy. He's smoking in his restaurant against the Clean Air Act and against the health regulations, etc. He doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't care a damn about anybody and what he's doing. Would you go there? I wouldn't. And not because of anything else, but I wouldn't go into a food business like that, or a premises. At least if I walked into a premises where I was going to sit down and be for, say, at least half an hour, 45 minutes, I'd want to know that it's not going to blow up around me. I'd want to be assured that the building isn't going to explode because it's been jury-rigged with unprofessional gas connections. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Raymond and Stacey and all those other, the 3 or 4 hangers on his channel. You really want to go and sit there and feel safe with all that going on? Let me ask you, are you going to take your kids there to sit there and have a secondhand smoke? You know, I'm sorry. We know he does it. He can't deny it. He showed us a video of the ashtray-filled table that he was going to get his minions to clean up because it was beneath them to do it. He's got minions. They can clean up his filthy, dirty ashtray. They can be around him while he's just continually smoking in an area he's not allowed to be smoking in. The law and the RA Republic Act clearly states that he's not allowed to be smoking in any area that there's civilian traffic. Well, if it starts out, you walk in to the door. You walk up to the door. He's halfway to the door, sitting at that table smoking. So that's a pedestrian traffic area. And he's just sitting there, live stream after live stream, video after video, constantly smoking. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there in Bohol, if you're a Filipino citizen, make a complaint to the health, make a complaint about him. Stop letting this Kano chef make a fool out of Philippines and Filipinos. Now, didn't they just lock up a vlogger in the Philippines for treating Filipinos like shit? What was his name? That Croatian guy or whatever. They just locked the guy up.
Vitali.
Yeah, actually two of them. There was two of them, two separate ones. They locked them up because Filipinos were getting sick to death of the way they take the piss out of them. Well, that's all Brian Smith does. You're all thieves, remember? Anybody that's got anything to do with it, you're a thief. You steal from him. You're lazy. You're no good. You're bums. Anybody that works for the government is a no-hoping fat loser who's too lazy to get off his job and ask and do his job, remember? When is someone in Taliban Bohol going to finally stand up to this? He's on the run from his own country. Why are you Filipinos afraid of him? That's why he's got this Kano's restaurant registered in his wife's name. He can't get it registered in his own name because they'd find out who he is and where he is. He'd be arrested and deported. This man is so useless and so crooked and so bad that he can't even get a small business in Bumfuck Junction, Taliban registered in his name. Why are Filipinos afraid of him? Report him. Report the slop house that he's running. Report everything about him. He's got no building permit for the shithole house that he lives in, the Bohol. He's got nothing. There's nothing to be afraid of about Brian Gramble Smith, Chef Kano. There's nothing to be afraid of. He's got that much power, zero. He can't do shit to you or anybody you know. He can't even pay his power bill. He has to go on to an internet channel and beg subscribers for the money, pay his power bill. Why are you scared of him? So Bullwinkle, Everything Finance, his new channel talking about 26 Everything Finance is his new channel talking about the money market. You've got to be kidding. A man who doesn't know what to do with his own is trying to advise other people. You have got to be kidding. And ladies and gentlemen, just go on that and say, everybody, go and just make a comment. But aren't you the fool who was 1/3 the dummy who stupidly gave his money to Brian Smith and got screwed in the Philippines of all places? Yet you're trying to advise us about money? I mean, what a joke, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolute joke.
He cannot name one success he has had. There has never been one success.
Yeah.
Please name it. I want to hear it. If anyone can name one success that he's had of ideas that he's started, like, think of all the crazy ideas he's thought of and started, and just name me one success that he's had.
Yeah. Bullwinkle's right, pro-life. That was the guy that got arrested and kicked out. And yeah, Tilapia Dave, that was his new squeeze. That's right. Tilapia Dave, what's his name? Chalmers. What the hell? I keep forgetting. Dave Chandler. What's his name? Tilapia Dave. Hang on a sec. Got it there somewhere. What was his name? David John Chaplin. Tilapia Dave. What happened to him? Well, yeah, like everybody who had anything to do with Chef Kano, gone by the by. Just gone by the by. Hey, folks, we seem to have lost Ernesto. Michael, how are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, all good here.
Good, mate. Yeah, it's just, I wanted to make this sort of light. I tried to lighten this up. I wanted to have it lightened up, but it just gets, you can't, it just gets too serious. Like, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to walk into a small premises that could blow up. Now, he showed you in a video how he took these electrical appliances, and then he actually shows you underneath where the flame goes and starts operating under this in this electric oven, which is now gas. At no stage did he say, well, we've done this after getting the proper permits from the Department of Trade and Industry, and this is Jose, the qualified technical gas fitter that we paid, several thousand pesos to come and do the job. No. He got his handyman Tatai to do it, using whatever second-hand bits and pieces they could pick up as cheaply as possible. So I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, no, I don't want to go into a place like that at any time could blow up. And it's possible. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making a big drama. I'm telling the truth. He has illegally, so Tatai can put stuff together. He's not qualified at anything. He's just a bloke that knows how to use some tools. And any decent tools that he had have long been sold. He's not even using decent tools to do the job. He's doing, look at it. He's using any bloody thing that he can to do the job, because all the good stuff that they were sent in ballot wine boxes somehow is gone. Yeah, sold for the quarter. Like, where's Marisol lately? Is she hiding from the camera because she doesn't want to see that she's had to cut her hair again to sell her hair to pay the bills again? Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to sit inside a very small place that could possibly blow up in your face? Go and have a look at his video yourselves and see. Then look it up. Look up the Republican that tells you about you can't change electric appliances over to gas unless you're a qualified, registered, licensed gas fitter and you've got a permit from the Department of Trade and Industry to do it as a business. None of that's mentioned in his videos, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you think something as important as that, by someone who tells you that they're a great businessman, don't you think that they would include that? Wouldn't that be standard procedure for a normal person? But no, Chef Kano is exempt from all that. Why? Why? Because he's a loudmouth Yank in Bohol. Like I said, if it, like he's sitting halfway, that outdoor area, it's got, I don't know, whatever tables, and he's sitting in the middle one. So as you come into the premises, you've got a few feet to his table, and then you've got a few feet from his table to the door. So he's right slap bang in the middle of that outdoor area smoking. Totally illegal. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's only a Filipino law. Filipinos are minions, remember? They're minions. And nobody's going to do anything, remember, because they're all too lazy to get off their fat asses, remember? Who honestly really is that low, is that amoral that they'd support a bum like that? So, well, Dave changed his name because he was doxed in the chat. Don't know how they found out his real name. Good one. But he's certainly dumped. We haven't seen him on the Hogs channel, on Chef Kano's channel for a long time. No Tilapia Dave. And now what will happen is, because I mentioned that, someone, Boss Hog will clone it and bring it in next. Wait, watch the next video or live stream. There'll be a Dave Tilapia clone.
Is this Panty Sniffer Dave the same one?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the man who bought his daughter-in-law's panties off TikTok, and then he bought them for his own amusement, apparently.
Yeah, okay. Weird. This is an interesting comment. Boss Hog now acknowledges his son Blake. Very weird. Before his son was secret. Where was that, mate? I've not was that in today's live stream. Can you just give us a little bit more about that? Oh, yeah. Now he's saying GD could go to jail. Where's he getting his stuff? I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I receive a disability support pension here in Australia. You know, I'm a con man. I'm a thief. It's all fake. I'm ripping off welfare. Didn't you know that? Well, you should know that because Boss Hogg and his minions keep telling everybody this. So because they're low-life degenerates who hate the fact that I own my own home and live really well and got a few dollars to spend, every now and then they contact the Social Security people here and tell them that I'm rorting the system. I mean, they get their jollies doing this and they think it's really funny. They think it's real smart. So a couple of weeks ago, I got a letter from the Social Security to say, Jeff, we really apologise about this. We know damn well it's not true. And that from now on, we will be questioning these anonymous callers or complaints. And if they can't give us proof or whatever, they'll be the ones that are in trouble. But we're sorry for any inconvenience. And we apologise if this has caused you any harm, distress or worry. So that's what they're actually saying, mate. They're making up all these claims that I'm ripping off Australian welfare. They're doing it anonymously now because they know that if they actually came on to Boss Hogg's live stream and said, my name is John Smith or Peter Brown and I live at so-and-so such and such and I'm accusing Jeff of ripping off Social Security, they know I would have them in front of a magistrate real quick for slander. You know, if I wanted to rip off the Australian government, I wouldn't do it for a lousy welfare check. I'm smarter than that. I would rip them off for millions if I was going to. I'm very far from stupid. Very long way from stupid. If I was going to go to prison for something, it wouldn't be for a miserable welfare check, I'll tell you that right now. It'd be for something far more substantial. It's me again, NBC. Hello, Jeff and Michael. Hello. Look, if that is the original NBC, all well and good, but I don't know. You know, the conversation we've had recently, I just don't know what to trust anymore. I'm sorry. So in his live stream, he talked about his son, Blake. Yeah, well, that's weird because he only talked about Charlie for years and he says you're in trouble and he wants his followers to look up Australia. I mean, what trouble? See, this is what I told everybody previously. Boss Hogg, Chef Kano, is terrified of me now because I'm exposing the bullshit of Kano's restaurant. Okay? He's terrified. Now, so what he's got to do to take away from them listening to me, he's got to make up his drama and his bullshit. This is the only way he gets to get people to watch his channel. His channel is nothing if he doesn't involve me. My name on his live stream gets viewers. He starts talking about me, it gets viewers. They start a fever-pitched round of bullshit. One of them will start some bullshit. Last week it was Van Turner telling everybody that my Asawa has a whole bevy of affairs with different men. So he starts a bullshit like that. This is the man who's so brave that he won't identify his location for me to come and see him, where he can beat me up, tear me to pieces and put me in hospital and do me so much harm that I'll never look the same again and I'll be done to death. But I've got to hunt him down. This brave follower of Chef Kano. So today you're telling me Chef Kano is telling me I'm in trouble. Well, what trouble? I'm not in any trouble. Do I look like I'm in trouble? He makes these dramas up. He's come back onto YouTube because what he thought was going to make him a fortune, this idiot slophouse, has fallen flat on its face. And I told you a week ago that he will now make up more dramas to keep viewers interested and planting seeds in people's mind to watch his videos. Well, here you go. GD's in trouble. Oh, we got to hang on to this. We'll have to tune into the next video to find out what that is. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is desperate. Unlike me, who can give you actual facts, The fact is he's not allowed to smoke in that restaurant. The fact is he shouldn't even be in that restaurant. He hasn't got a 9G work visa, and his wife, his Asawa, is breaking the law by having him there. He says you divorced your wife and you rent the house from your wife and then claim she is your caregiver and give the Australian government to get more money. Can you give me a timestamp when he says that? That my wife, this is something that they've been saying for ages, that my wife is claiming money from the Australian government as my caregiver.
No, that's not what Hogg said.
I mean,
He said that
see,
he said that you wouldn't be able to collect your pension if you were if it was under your name. So you transferred all your assets. It was because he said you had too many assets.
but I'm broke. I'm a
That's what
broke
he said.
loser.
Yeah, he said you transferred everything over to avoid.
Hang on. I haven't got any assets. According to them, I'm a broke loser. What are these assets that I've transferred? To who?
I don't know. That's just what he said.
Now, about 3 years ago, when I was totally misdiagnosed by my doctors that I was going to die very quickly, we all know the story. I was completely misdiagnosed. I was given 5 years to live in, I think it was around about 2015 or 2014. I was given 5 years to live by a respiratory specialist in Sydney. He made a mistake. I'm still alive. And what happened is the last time I had a really serious bout was January of last year, January of 2025. Hang on, I'm just writing this down. I'll just write this down because, where are we? Get my notepad here. 4340 into his live stream. 4340 talks about being a caregiver. Right. Well, I can tell everybody right here and now that is clickbait drama to get people to watch his channel. It's slander. It's defamation. It is completely, utterly, and totally untrue. Now, I've just told you that. You can record that. I'll say it again. Get your phone and put it on record. I'll give you 2 seconds to open your phone up and put it on. You can record me saying this, or you can screenshot this in your thing. If Brian Granville Smith of Purok 6, Changhaligi, Island of Bohol, Philippines, has today, the 15th of March, 2026, done a live stream on the internet, on YouTube. And in that live stream at timestamp 43 minutes and 40 seconds, purports to his audience that my wife is taking money from the Australian government as my caregiver. I can tell you right here and now that is completely, utterly, and totally false. That is slander, because it is defamation. It is completely untrue. It's also filthy, disgusting lies. When you accuse people of stealing from the government, you better have some facts. You better be telling the truth. You've now left yourself wide open again, Smith. Now, he seems to think, ladies and gentlemen, that nothing can be done about this from Australia. Time after time after time, I've got to tell you people. Credit cards, ladies and gentlemen. Credit cards. Oh, there's another one here. Another one here. Solutions in the Philippines get fixed the Filipino way. And we all know what I'm talking about. And it gets to the point, ladies and gentlemen, where you decide to stop being a nice Western gentleman like myself and start to become a Filipino-minded person. This guy is just asking for drama. He is just completely asking for drama. Hey, excuse me. Hey, Ellie, just open the door for a minute. Listen to this. Chef Kano this morning had a live stream from the Bohol. at 43 minutes and 40 seconds into the live stream, he tells his audience that you personally are stealing money from the Australian government by claiming money off Social Security as my caregiver. What do you say to that?
Just ignore it because it's all bullshit, Jeff. Please.
Just so that they can hear that. See, she's not even bothered to reply.
Not Jeff. Not
Her Filipino attitude is screw him. He's an idiot. She said, I'm not even bothered. I don't even going to bother reply. You notice, ladies and gentlemen, that not once ever. That's the first time I've ever voluntarily, ever actually asked Maya Sawa to have anything to do with this channel because it's important. I don't involve my family in this because then it's not worth the mongs and the idiot himself to do this. He has just committed slander, libel. Well, not libel because it's not in writing, but slander and defamation. How does this man lives in he can't even afford to pay his power bill. How has he got first-hand information onto my wife's financial situation? I'm sorry. How does that work? My wife is not now and never has been receiving any money from anybody to be my caregiver. I don't need a caregiver. Yes, I'm sick, but I can get around on my own. I've got my own mobility. I don't need a caregiver. There is no caregiver in this house. The stupidity of this kind of accusation is just beyond a joke. But it's drama to get people to tune into his channel and listen to his bullshit that he thinks he can't do that I can't do anything about. You know, I've put up with this time and time and time again. You know, unbelievable. Now here's this. Listen to this. Bullwinkle saying from the live chat, looks like Stacey and his buddies has taken credit for reporting you to the Aussie government as the way he took it. Well, good luck to them. Good luck to them. I mean, what, you know, like I said, I get a letter from them to say they're fed up with it. They're fed up with chasing the smoke, and that the next time it happens, they're going to be saying, well, hang on, we've had all these nefarious, malicious reports against Mr. Mead before. We're now going to look into who's making these. So do it again. Do it again. I implore the people out there that support Boss Hogg to contact. Hang on, I'll look it up and I'll give you the number. I'll give you the number.
Oh, Stacy said his sheriff was going to help him get you arrested. You remember this already, right? So Stacy and his buddies have been threatening things like this for a long time, but nothing ever happens.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can do this yourself. If you go into Google, punch in Centrelink Fraud Hotline, the results for Centrelink Fraud Hotline are: to report suspected Centrelink fraud, contact the Services Australia Fraud Tip-Off line at 131 524 Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time, or complete the online report a suspected fraud form. Reports can be made anonymously if you prefer. So please, Paul Leahog, go ahead. I'm more than happy if you do. Because Centrelink are now fed up with this bullshit. You are wasting government time and resources, and they're fed up with it. And that's a criminal offence in this country. Please go ahead. Report GD that I've got a divorced wife claiming Centrelink benefits as my caregiver. You know it's true because Chef Kano told you so. Stacey Dixon told you so. Van Turner told you so. How they have gotten into our personal financial details is beyond me. But how did they discover something which would be a huge secret? I mean, it's not something we would be advertising, is it? Oh, dear. We better be quiet. We better not tell anybody that we're rorting Centrelink. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, beyond a joke. This is how he's managing to keep his pathetic life and channel going, by talking shit like this. And you notice, ladies and gentlemen, on his channel and in his comments, when one fool comes up with some stupid bloody bullshit, they pull it out of the air, they pull it out of their ass, and they blow it up into massive, they just keep blowing it. I mean, it's beyond insane. But it brings drama to his channel, which means AdSense, which means payment from YouTube. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, recently on Bohol, the crime statistics have gone through the roof for ride and tandem killings. I'm not telling you anything that's not public knowledge. Ride and tandem killings on Bohol are now at pandemic levels. Trust me. The police on Bohol don't know what to do and how to stop it. Well, Bullwinkle, that's never going to come off, because if it comes from that fool, he's on shore here in Australia, and I will take his bipolar ass straight to prison. There is no way, even that fool, even that fat fucking Queensland, he might be bipolar and stupid and on drugs all the time, but he's not dumb enough to talk shit like that, because he will go down in a screaming heap. And he knows it. There is no way in the whole wide world it came from Fat Tones. And if someone can prove to me that that's information that he's feeding these people, then in Australia, he'll be gone. He will be gone. The government aren't going to put up with that. I'm certainly not going to put up with it. Kelly certainly isn't going to put up with it. And there's no way he'll get away with it. I mean, the whole thing is ludicrous. Enough said. I mean, this is how pathetic the man is. This is how desperate he is to get someone clawing his way back into YouTube to get some money, payments. That's how low he's prepared to go. That is what a degenerate, sick man Brian Granville Smith really is. There is nothing that man won't stoop to. There is nothing low enough for that man to stoop to make money that he won't do. He's just a lowlife. He's a lowlife that doesn't know how to run a restaurant. He's a lowlife that can't farm. He's a lowlife that's hopeless as a father. He's a lowlife that's hopeless as a husband. He's a lowlife that's hopeless at just living life full stop. He's just a piece of garbage. And
he's
he
a
is
total loser, baby.
Yeah, and he's living his life off you out there by talking about people like me in the ways that he's talking about to gain drama, making up filth, disgusting, defamatory, slanderous shit to entertain a bunch of mongoloid losers on a fucking internet channel. My friend said to me, do a weekly live stream about this guy and make fun out of it. Well, it's not fun anymore. I was going to do that. I was just going to take the piss out of the guy. But no more. No more. This guy seriously has to be woken up. He needs a serious wake-up call. Now, I've been in a position to do all sorts of things to this guy, and I just haven't bothered because I just can't be bothered. I have the means and the contacts and the know and the wherewithal to do some pretty nasty stuff to this bloke if I wanted to. But I put it off because that's not how GD works. That's why I don't involve my family in any of this. I don't need to involve my family. Now, I've got a couple of male members of my family that if I involved in this, I would seriously doubt the length of Chef Kano's longevity. I don't need other male members of my family to come and help me with this or to give me support about anything to do with Chef Kano. I can handle that fat fuck quite nicely, thank you very much, because that's all he is, a fat fuck. with absolute mongoloid, uneducated hick followers. I don't need any help to take care of them. You know, I appreciate support and good wishes from people like Ernesto and Michael and all the other people on the channel, but I don't rely on it. I don't ask for it. I don't need to come on here and rely on having them prop me up and pat me on the back and tell me nice things like Chef Kano does. He needs it. He can't survive without it.
I contacted you. It wasn't the other way around. And with Chef Kano, is that what we're calling him now, Chef Kano?
Yeah. Well, that's, you know, Chef Kano, you know, like,
He has
yeah.
to solicit other people. He has to
Yeah.
start the contact.
Because he's a narcissist, and a narcissist needs constant adulation, needs constant, you know, build up of his ego and his character. He can't survive without it. That's why he puts up with these low-life scum on his live stream. Because at least it's somebody. At least it's somebody. What's happened here, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, looky, looky, looky. Grim Reaper, you naughty boy. Thank you for that. I don't know why you did that, but thank you for that. That'll again go in. I'll add that to the $79 that's just sitting there. So that's $99. So hopefully we'll wait till we get the fund up to a reasonable amount of money and send it off. Oh no, that's right. I used that $79. I put that towards the $12,500 I sent Gerson for his fridge. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that was all successful. I'll see if I can put this up for you. Gerson has had his fridge delivered. He's very happy with it. Let me just show you if I can get the picture up here, and you can have a look and see for yourself. Where are we? Oh, he didn't tell me what it was. I think he got a free fan as well, a free electric fan. He said that they got a freebie. So there, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of the fridge as they were unboxing it in his little house. So there's another one. Let's have a look. There's another picture of it. I don't know the brand. It's some sort of Chinese brand. I've never heard of it before. That was the fridge. That cost 12,500 pesos. Apparently it was a good deal. That's delivered. And he also got a free pedestal fan with it. So that's pretty good because, you know, fans in the Philippines. So that was 12,500 pesos that I bought him a week ago. This is why Chef Kano is annoyed with me and angry with me, because I do these things that he never does anything else. You know, I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much for that, Grim Reaper. That's really appreciated. And as you know, that will go in the fund. Well, that starts a fund off because that's the first donation in a while. So thanks for that. What is Boss Hog going to talk about when Kano's is out of business? Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'd said last week, after he came on a live stream, which was pointed out to me by expat scammers. I missed that when he said it. He actually said in a live stream, well, I'm not discounting closing down Kano's. Well, no, he's not, because, I mean, it's failing miserably. When you can't even get 20 people out of a whole Philippine city to come and get free food, something's wrong. And what is wrong, ladies and gentlemen, is over the previous time that he's been in Taliban, he has built himself a reputation of so much hate, it's not funny. He doesn't realize that Filipinos have got their cell phones, they've got laptops, they've got computers, and they sit at home and they do watch his videos, and they get really pissed off when time after time after time he says, everybody that lives around, they come and steal my fish. They're all thieves. Everybody around me is a lazy bastard. I can't get anybody to work. They're just lazy, hopeless drunks. Doesn't he realize they're watching this? They know what he says about them. They've watched how he treated Linda. They watched how he treated his own son and Marley. They watched how he treated so many different people, Ippy and Consing, like dirt. They're minions, remember? They've watched all that. And now they watch this pathetic attempt at this restaurant. They watched when he abused the shit out of that woman at the hardware shop when she wouldn't be filmed. And he told her off and treated her like shit. They've watched all that and they've seen that this guy is nothing but a dirty, fat slob. You know, this guy just doesn't realise how bad his reputation is, and that's why practically nobody, turned up for his promotion for free food. You can't even give away free food. That's how bad people think of him. And the people that did turn up there are going, what is this full of shit foreigner saying come for free pizza and we get one slice? Even the guy, I went back over the promo video that he did with the guy in his restaurant standing there, putting it over his phone to his social media, saying, come and get fresh pizzas. He didn't say come and get one pizza slice. Nobody would have turned, they wouldn't have bothered. They wouldn't have bothered going all that way to get one pizza slice. They were expecting to get a pizza each, and they got one slice. And they didn't even, they just got whatever was given to them. They didn't even, well, I'll have a bit of that. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the whole thing.
It was buffet style, remember? He said it was buffet style. When have you been to a pizza buffet and only been able to take one slice?
Yeah, I don't know if you watched the video, but what a joke. What an absolute joke. It was an embarrassment. You know, it was absolute embarrassment. It really was. You know, I've never seen anything like it. And then towards the end of the video, after they've eaten their one slice, you could see them all sitting there waiting for more. You could see them. And when they realised there was no more, that was when the video ended. They must have all got up and said, fuck you, and walked out. You know what I'm saying?
And when you have to scream out to everybody, hey, everybody, did you enjoy your pizza? And they say, yeah. That's not a sincere yeah. That's you prompted us, and we're Filipinos, so we don't want to be confrontational. So we'll just say yeah and agree along with you. That was a prompted, like a review of his restaurant.
Yeah. Well, getting back to this comment again, what is Boss Hog going to talk about when Kano's is out of business? What will be his next failure? Well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, a week ago, I said he will be coming up with something because he's closing it down. It hasn't worked out. It's a complete failure, like everything else that he's put his hand to. But this one is the most expensive and biggest failure that he's ever had. God help the person who lent him the money who thinks that they're going to get the money back. They're not. They're not going to see a penny of it. But he's now started his next failure. He's now started his next failure, and that video was, what was the name of it? The last one he put up. The last one he put up was, hang on a sec, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get the facts straight. I want to be able to tell you the truth. His last video that said, starting the roof rebuild. Well, that, my friend, is his next failure. He's already gone back to the old script and the old way of doing things to get seeds in your mind to give him donations and to prop up this next venture. See, everything with him, you know, it's like each little separate thing. The crayfish, how long did that last? 20 videos, say a couple of months. The round tank, 20 videos, a couple of months. The squash, 20 videos, a couple of months. The solar, 20 videos, a couple of months. And all the meantime, he's outlining the costs and he's showing everything day by day, getting the donations in, putting more seed in your mind and seeing more money and more goods. Well, now it's the new roof rebuild. And he started out, it was amazing, with all the details on saving the nails and how much the cocoa lumber costs and how much the steel costs and all this effort and how long it's going to take to do it and all this blah, 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 blah. That's his next drama. Because the restaurant's done to death. We all know that what he's telling us about the restaurant being this huge success, well, that's bullshit. If it's not bullshit, why does he need to get the word out? That's what he said in that promo video. Oh, it's good to have all these people here. What, 7 adults and a bunch of kids. Kids aren't going to go around saying, go to Kano's because it's good food. Kids don't care anything. Kids are going to go to school and say, they're going to say, what did you do yesterday? I got a slice of pizza at this from a foreigner and it was shit. They're going to be no advertising for them. The parents are going to say, well, this dirty, unshaven, scruffy, fat, dirty foreigner promised us pizzas and we got there and we got one slice. It was ridiculous. You know, that promo was a complete and utter it was a total failure. But he said, I did this so I can get the word out. But hang on, hasn't he been telling us for weeks before that the place is full all the time? The word was apparently already out. What does he need to get the word out for? Wasn't it already out? So then he's lying to us. He has obviously lied to us in all the previous videos about how well he's doing because he needs to get the word out, to get customers in by giving away free pizza slices, not pizzas, slices. The whole thing is an absolute joke. And that's why he's decided, I'm going to attack Jeff and I'm going to make lies up about him on my live stream so I'll get viewers. That's another drama that I can get because anything to do with GD on my live stream gets viewers, which gives me AdSense. I need the money. I'm going broke. That's why I'm back on YouTube. And Michael being a naughty boy again. Look at that. Michael, thank you very much. But, you don't have to, I never ask for funds, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, unless it's specific. I certainly don't expect it. But when they come in, it's always great because I start planning in my head someone that's going to benefit from it. A little bit of money in Australia doesn't go very far, but a little bit of money in the Philippines goes a long way. You'd be surprised. And when, you send it over to somebody over there, the gratefulness that they have, the sheer thank you that you get, is genuine. And it's a really good thing because I love paying it forward, And the other thing too, ladies and gentlemen, it sort of keeps me honest because every time I get a certain amount from YouTube, AdSense money, as you all know, I either double it, triple it, or times 10 to send over. Like the last check that I got was $79 and I sent over $500. I always make it up from my pocket, as you know. I always show you the receipts, as you know. I show you the tax documents, as you know. So anybody who sends GD any kind of money knows that it's going to the right place. It's documented and it's genuine. Besides, I'm getting plenty of money. My Asawa hands me a check from Social Security each week as a caregiver. It's worth a fortune, We don't need to rip off YouTube because we're already ripping off Social Security for caregiver money. It's rolling in, folks. I mean, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. But if someone can point me where they can definitely show me in writing or in words, in video on the internet, that fool in Queensland, Big Tones, is turned around and accused me of ripping off Social Security, I'll have him in a fucking front of a magistrate so fast for defamation, it's not funny.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, GD.
Well, I'm telling you, it is bullshit. I am not receiving, or nobody is receiving money on my behalf as a caregiver. I can tell you that right now. It never has. It's ridiculous. Now, there was a time I made a video. Pardon me. My throat's getting real sore. After I got out of hospital last time when I broke my collarbone, I was so uncomfortable, I was so sore, and I hadn't knitted properly. I couldn't sleep. I just could not sleep for life and money because I was tossing and turning every 5 minutes. I had like 8 or 9 pillows, and every few minutes I was asking Elaine to come and change the position of the pillows. And of course, she got sick of that. And so did I. So I went out and I got a hospital bed. And I made a video of me in the hospital bed showing how it works, goes up, down, back, front, sideways, does all that. And so I made a video of that, and I got one of those hospital tables, that goes underneath and over the table, just like in hospital. So I showed you that in my room. The next thing you know, sick grandpa, Richard Charles Jarrett, at lunatic Fred Flintstone in the Philippines, is making a video telling everybody that I'm in an aged care facility because he saw the hospital bed and the hospital table in my bedroom. And so he made a video for content, because this is all these people have got. Lies and bullshit to get people to watch them.
But he worked as a nursing assistant. He worked as a nurse's assistant. What the hell is he talking about?
And I suppose when you look at it, there's a hospital bed, there's a hospital table, and I'm lying on it. It might have appeared that I was in a hospital room. It's not. It's in my bedroom because that's where I put it. It took 6 of the Filipino guys to lift up. Weighs about 180 kilos. So it took 6 of them to get it up the stairs into the house. Anyway, This may be where it all started. I don't know. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, if I was guilty of falsely claiming money from our Social Security, don't you think that that would be something that I would keep strictly confidential? I wouldn't want anybody to find out about it, would I? There's no way you're going to go and rip off the government and make it public. You would keep that strictly secret. So where did these people get this information that Ellie is taking money as a caregiver? That's a very specific thing. It's not they're ripping off Social Security, make an anonymous complaint, investigate them because they're claiming money they shouldn't. They've actually said they're ripping you off and she's getting money as a caregiver. They've been very specific. She's getting money as a caregiver. So it's not even me that they're dobbing in, it's her. They're not making up a story of fraud against me. They're making up a story of fraud against my wife. And she's not going to be happy about that. You're not going to be happy about that at all. She's got a great reputation. She's a church-going, careful person who has got public service awards for charity and all the rest of it. She's a very caring lady who looks after people in the community. She's actually just got a call from her sister in Sydney to go and visit a lady up here in hospital because the lady's crook. Now, Maya Sawa has taken all the Filipinos under their wing so much, it's not funny. She really looks after them, and she guides them and helps them with so many different things, it's not funny. I mean, I know this might sound a bit cliched and a bit hackney, but she's as honest as the day's long. She wouldn't know how to do something bad. She just wouldn't know. So for somebody to go on the internet and claim that she's stealing ill-gotten gains falsely from our government is just filth. It's just absolute filth. And to do that just so that they can get an audience on YouTube to get money to prop their lifestyle up because they're useless, it's just sheer disgusting. And as I say, ladies and gentlemen, there is a huge problem on Bohol at the moment. It's one of the biggest problems they've got. It's not poverty. It's not illiteracy. It's not bad water. It's not lack of rice. It's not lack of infrastructure. It's ride and tandem killings is the biggest problem facing anybody and everybody on Bohol at the moment. Above everything else, not unemployment. It's not anything else. It's ride and tandem killings is the major number one social economic problem on Bohol. And Brian Bramble-Smith should listen to that information because he's pissing off a huge number of people. He's lying to, cheating, and abusing too many people. The thing is, he's gone native, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care about hygiene. You can see that when he shows a video of a Filipino guy getting meat in his hands like this and then thinking that you're going to eat it. When he makes videos of illegal gas installations, thinking that you're not going to feel for your safety to go anywhere near his premises. The guy is an idiot, but he's a dangerous idiot. He's a nasty idiot. He's a vicious idiot, and he's a malicious idiot. He's starting to become one of the creeps that support him. There was a time that you could have thought, given him the benefit of the doubt to some sort of human decency. But if he's going on live streams on the internet as early as today, stating that my wife is stealing from the Australian government, then I can tell you right here and now, ladies and gentlemen, that is criminal. That is a filthy, dirty, vile offence against my wife, who's had nothing to do with this channel. Why is he attacking her? I have never involved my family in this channel in any way, shape or form. And when I asked her to make a comment today, she said, no, I'm not interested. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not even going to acknowledge the fool. Well, anybody out there who wants to, go and make that complaint because they are sick of it and they will be asking you who you are. and what proof you've got. Oh, I heard it from some arsehole on the internet. Yeah, they're really going to take you seriously. They're really going to take that seriously and do an investigation and waste time and effort and government money when it's already been done and they know damn well there's no truth to it. Yeah, go ahead and make the complaint, see what happens. But I don't give a shit anymore. But Brian Smith, Chef Kano, if this is the way you want to go, if you want to be low-life filth, if you want to be a disgusting piece of shit, then just imagine what a guy in my position can do. You've got nothing. The only people you've got to back you up are a bunch of gutless fucking idiots on YouTube. I think that the people that I've got behind me, far more intelligent, far more decent, and far more willing to be by my side than anybody with you. That you get in trouble, there's none of them are going to come to your aid. Where is your great mate Andy on MacTan? We haven't seen him at your restaurant yet. Where is your great mate Van Turner talking all this shit on your live streams? But where is he? Where are they?
Andy on MacTan. Andy on MacTan is in his underwear drinking wine or beer at 9 a.m. in the morning. Van is also drinking at 9 a.m. in the morning, and Van is half dead. That's where they are.
I once told the channel that I would give 50,000 pesos to anybody who can give me the details, the names and the details of all these scumbags on Hog's channel. Anybody that can supply me the true location details of either Van Turner or Andy on MacTan, there's 50,000 pesos coming your way. I have never detracted from that offer. I've told everybody that offer is open. 50,000 Philippine pesos to a person who can give me undeniable, actual truth, the location, the real name of Andy on MacTan, or the location of this Van Turner person. I will give them 50,000 pesos if they can give me undeniable, actual proof of their name and location. And then once that happens, then we'll see how brave they are to go on live streams and talk shit about me. Then we'll see how willing they are to talk their crap, because they won't be anonymous anymore and they'll be able to be taken to task. But as for Brian Granville Smith, he wants to do this low-life shit, then there's nothing to stop me retaliating in the same low-life manner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, that guy should really, really, really think about his options of staying alive, to be quite honest, because the amount of people on Bohol that are involved in killing other people is beyond a joke. And he should really think that he's putting himself in that line by going on the internet and going around Telebon telling everybody that they're arseholes, that they're useless, that they're no good, that they're bums. He should really think about what he's doing on the internet and his relationships that he's destroying with everybody around him. He should really be worried about his persona in the Philippines. And if he doesn't realize it, then he should take to heart the fact that nobody wants to come anywhere near him, even for free food. That's how much he's hated, that he can't even get people to come to him for free food. That he really is the king of the empty tables. That his restaurant is a total disaster because he's an arsehole and everybody knows it and nobody wants to come anywhere near him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's deliberately sabotaged his own restaurant. He sat out there in that live stream the other day, unshaven, dirty, filthy, and his live stream today, the same T-shirt, exactly. So he's had that T-shirt on for 2 weeks. Or does he just wear it for the same live stream? Does he just wear it to make videos in? The exact same T-shirt. The guy is a filthy, disgusting slob. His personal hygiene is just beyond low. He's lived in the Philippines for 7, nearly 8 years, and he's gone native. He has gone native. His personal hygiene is just disgusting. It always was. You know, he was brought up in a 1-bedroom dirt shack, and that's how he lives.
Those look like medical scrubs he was wearing. Have you seen medical scrubs? Like
No.
nurses' assistants? They look
Oh.
like medical scrubs to me. Honestly.
Yeah, it does, eh? Yeah. Maybe she's working sick grandpa. He used to work as a, wiping old people's asses. That was his only qualification. Changing bedpans for people in old people's homes. Richard Charles Jarrett, aka sick grandpa. Yeah, that's what she looks like.
She looked like she was wearing like extra large medical scrubs.
Yeah,
something that's big, not fitted, very loose fitting. I think he was wearing medical scrubs.
I actually saw that when she walked in the other day, and I thought, what's she doing in there? It's like she works in a hospital, But she wouldn't be. The only thing she could do in a hospital is either mop the floors or wiping old people's asses. That's about all she's qualified to do. That's about all she's qualified to do. Besides
that tan top that Hog had on, that tan top with the dark tan tubing around the neckline and the shirt pocket, it looked like medical scrubs. That's what I think.
Good comment there. Yes, Zero Bisaya. I actually sent him a Bisaya English dictionary. I sent it to him years ago. It was an easy dictionary to read and to ingest. He just can't be bothered because they're minions. Remember, he's better than them. They're only e-boys and tutais. He's Brian. No, his complete disdain of anything Filipino is glaring. He has got not a single interest in being anything but the arrogant narcissist prick that he is. Yeah, Michael, you're right. The only thing Boss Hog is good at is failing and lying. Yeah. But I can assure everybody out there, anything that he said about my Asawa in the live stream this morning is nothing but drama to get views. It's a filthy lie. It's defamatory. And anybody who wants to even consider that, just go ahead and ask him where he gets his information. What proof has he got? How can he really, truly represent what he's saying to you as fact? Where's his information come from? And if that's true, what am I? I'm sitting here free. I haven't been locked up. I haven't been dragged into court. I'm not getting charged by anybody because it's just not true. But anyway, enough of that. We've done that to death. Yeah, no one he's ever done business with has ever come out making money. They've all lost. That is true. There is nobody, Mike and May, Dave Tilapia, anybody, nobody that's done any business with that guy has ever come out of it ahead. They've always, you get involved with Brian Granville Smith, you lose. You lose your bloody shirt. I mean, that is a really good comment. So, yeah, the solar, the crayfish fail, the fire pits, the chickens, the pigs, the vegetables, the bananas, duckweed, round tax, ocean fish pen, tilapia pond, restaurant, fixing cars, raising kids, being an absent dad, all failures. Yeah. There is nothing that this man can come on to his live stream and represent to you as the truth. So therefore he makes up lies about my wife, who has never had anything to do with this channel. Unlike his drunken slag grinding coconuts piece of shit who will accept him screwing around behind her back. She's got no morals. She's got no self-esteem. She's just a slag. Only a slag would marry a fat slob like him who 2 times her. And if he doesn't like me calling her a slag, well, you tell me what a Filipino, because no, all Filipinos would call her a slag too. I don't, any of the Filipino women that Asar was to the Filipinos that I've met here in casino, none of them would have anything to do with a slag like that. They would have nothing to do with that Filipino woman. None of the Filipino women that I know would be like that. That they're just decent. And no decent Filipino, no decent Pinoy, no moral church-going Pinoy would allow some dirty, filthy, fat slob to screw around on her, have children behind her back, and then turn around and marry him. They wouldn't do it because they've got morals, they've got standards. She's got none. She is just a drunk, coconut grinding slag. And if he doesn't like it, I don't care. If he wants to get low down and nasty and call my wife things that are absolutely, utterly and totally lies and not true, then I will tell the truth about her wife, his wife. He's decided to attack my Asawa with lies. I will attack his Asawa with truth. She's a drunken slut. That's all she is. Who's abandoned her family on Mindanao, probably been kicked out. Because being the Muslim bitch that she is, they didn't want her having anything to do with a useless infidel like him. There you go. You married a slut and a slag who got kicked out of her community in Mindanao because they wanted nothing to do with your Christian fat ass. If he, like, two can play this game. I can play this game all day long, but you see, I have an educated brain and a vocabulary where that fat fool has got nothing but a bunch of hanger-on friends talking shit. Yeah, the azolla, the duckweed, and the bees. There are many more, my friend. There are many, many more. Trust me on that. Here's the definition of a loser. Yeah. Keep your enemies closer. Now, what was that the other day? You had a go at me on something and I got a bit pissed off about it. You said something on the channel, on one of the comments on my video, and you got up me for something, and so I didn't appreciate it. Can't remember, but yeah, you're on thin ice on that one. So, Michael, people must be crazy to keep trusting Hogg with their money and with his history. Well, that's it. This is why that restaurant.
If you want to go to the Philippines, associate with the Hog and want to be a millionaire, you better arrive there a billionaire, because you're going to lose everything.
Yeah. Look, we're now at the stage 7 years down the track. He closed his channel down, said, I've made my last video, I've made my last live stream. Because I'm going to make money out of a restaurant. For 6 months, we didn't hear a word, but that's the magic figure, ladies and gentlemen, because after that, you lose your YouTube channel. You have to start again. If you don't put up a video for 6 months, YouTube deletes your channel. It's gone. So when things hit the skids, he knew that the only thing he's ever made a quid out of, the only thing that's actually consistently brought him money is his YouTube channel. So he had no choice. He's not making any money anywhere else. So he had to bring back his YouTube after the last video, after the last live stream. And he comes back by telling everybody what a huge success this place is. Now, he told us this at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. He told us this at 8 o'clock on Monday night. He told us this at 7 o'clock on Tuesday morning. He told us this at 3 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. He told us this at 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning. He told us this at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night, et cetera, through the days of the week, in videos and in live stream. The problem is there was never anybody in the restaurant while he was telling us how successful it was, how packed out it always was, how many customers he's got. But he was the only one there. So one started to realize, well, I did, because I'm not stupid and these work. I started to realize that what I'm hearing is not what I'm seeing. I'm hearing from Chef Kano that the place is packed. Oh, we sold so many pizzas today. First off, it's like the Bohol when, we're doing so well with the squash. We're doing so well with the corn. We're doing so well with the tilapia. Then all of a sudden that stopped and we're on to something else. Well, the same with the restaurant. Oh, we're selling so much donuts. Oh, the donuts are going to keep us alive. The donuts, we're going to make so much profit out of. Next video. Oh, well, we're not selling any more donuts because that didn't work out. But hang on, what about all the other videos? You told us they were making a fortune out of them. You know, ladies,
what about the plateau? What about the plateau with the bananas and the drip irrigation system that he was setting up? Remember the drip irrigation system?
Yep. It's all going wonderful in this video. We're going to make a fortune out of it. You know, the squash, we're going to be pulling in 500 kilos of squash a week. Mike and May financed it all. They're waiting for it to come, and it never eventuated. Not a kilo, let alone 500 a week. You know, Mike and May got stung there again. You know, and as the comment said, why people, what Michael's right, why they keep trusting Hogg with their money with his history. Mike and May got stung that many times it wasn't funny. Why do they still continue to go and support him and say nice things about him? He screwed them royally, ripped them off blind. You know, 3 of them. And they're still acting as though they're friends with him or something. I mean, how stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? Lester and Chat moved clear across the other side of the Philippines to get away from him. You know, I mean, seriously. The other people that he took us around and showed us, all these other, the New Zealand guy, where's he? They're long gone. All these other people that have got properties around Bohol that you know, he'd go to their house and it was just an opportunity for another video, for AdSense money, for YouTube to get payments. That's all it ever was with Boss Hogg. It's just a giant movie screen. That's all it is. The restaurant, the Bohol, everything is just a prop. Now, different actors have come and gone. Gina has come and gone. Her sister or the woman that had to go back because we exposed them trying to get that money. Now this E-boy, apparently, like I said, is that, you know, someone today on his live stream said, is that a relative? Or someone said that's his relative. No, that's Maricel's son. We proved a long time ago that she had 2 kids and she denied it. That's her son. I'll guarantee it. That E-boy, no, whatever his real name is. Why do they insist on calling a grown man E-boy? It's ridiculous. But it makes Brian sound so much more sophisticated because he's only got an E-boy. Because it makes it believable to think that you can write this person off as a minion. I mean, who takes E-boy seriously? Who takes Tatai seriously? Joke names for joke people to make him look as though he's the only one there with half a brain. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, you know? Sorry, mate. Yeah, and especially Bullwinkle, as the one thing that you can guarantee to get a good crop of in the Philippines is ants. One thing I hate about the Philippines, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter who you are in the Philippines, you're going to come across ants. So that's a really good comment. I like that. Oh, yeah, and dogs and cats also a failure. I mean, those 2 German shepherds, I mean, that was just criminal, you know. That was just absolutely criminal. How do you not fix or spay dogs or cats? You just want a bunch of dogs scratching themselves because no one's taking care. So weird. Yeah, it was. It's dogs and cats. Any animal around Boss Hogg is going to be in a sorry state. Yeah, you know, any animal lover should be talking to people riding motorbikes about Boss Hogg. Trust me.
Keeping those German shepherds in that small little cage is like keeping whales in a bathtub. Like, yeah, they need space. They need their space and room.
Yeah. This is an interesting comment. He and those of his ilk are the reason it's so easy to make a living in the USA and come out a millionaire. Ladies and gentlemen, look at him. He's an idiot. Okay, I can understand, ladies and gentlemen, look at him, he's an idiot, but I'm not quite understanding why people like him are the reason it's easy to make a living in the USA. I got to think about that one. Interesting comment. Thanks for it. But I really haven't got the true meaning of it. You want to explain that a little bit more? What, because you can hire fools like him for cheap and they'll make, you know, like just like in the Philippines, the unemployed huge amount of people you can get to work for nothing. Is that what you're sort of getting at? That back in the States, if you could hire them for nothing, probably could actually. There you go. Oh, okay, right, fine. So, I always said, because according to the age certificate, I mean, you know, she had Charlie when she was, what, almost 40 or something? I mean, that's a dangerous age for a woman to have a kid. And she'd already had 2 kids before. And one of them is E-boy. But yeah, when you have a kid at that age, there is a very heightened risk of syndromes. And that's exactly what happened. But she went ahead and did it anyway. No, what was that? A true kidnapping in Bohol, Tagbilaran. I haven't heard about that. I haven't actually. I normally go in and read the Bohol Chronicle every couple of days. I haven't read it for about a week, and the last time I read it, there was a quite a disturbing picture of the amount of people on Bohol that are hiring themselves out as riding tandem killers, and that's why I mentioned it earlier. And that's why people on Bohol who are arseholes who go around telling lies about people like Brian Smith, that's why people like him should be careful about what they say, especially about Filipino officials being fat, lazy, useless bastards who won't get off their ass and do their job. He keeps saying that. So one of these days, one of these fat, lazy, useless bastard Filipinos who gets sick of being told this by a fat slob like him, one of these days he might just take advantage of the fact that on Bohol, hiring a hitman is as easy as buying a bag of rice. And it's a problem that the police can't handle. Brian Smith is pissing off so many people. He's annoying so many people. I'll give you an example. He says that all these things on the wall, which he doesn't show us, are his permits to run the place. Where's his gas permit? Where's his fire permit? There's no way he can get a fire permit with those newly converted gas things. Where's the certificate from DTI that he's changed those over? That he had a proper person to a proper qualified person to do it. Where's his health permit? There's no way he's going to get a health permit for that place. There's no way he's going to get a fire permit for that place. He should never have a mayor's permit, because the mayor's permit comes, it's the last one you get. And that's when the person who issues the mayor's permit is satisfied that he's got all the other permits taken care of properly and they've been shown that he's got it. So the first thing that the person in the mayor's office should do before they issue the mayor's permit is to say, well, you're a foreigner. This business is in your wife's name. Therefore, under the anti-dummy laws, you can't work there. And even if you did, where's your 9G work visa? So he hasn't got a legal, valid mayor's permit. So how is he coercing or forcing or extorting these people into writing out permits he's not entitled to? Because it's either extortion, it's either coercion, it's either bribery or whatever. But I think these people and all the publicity he's getting about the way he treats people and the way he carries on, I think there are a lot of people on Bohol that have finally had enough of Brian Granville Smith. The only thing that he's doing for Taliban Bohol is bringing in a bad reputation. Mayor Garcia of Bohol might have been his amigo and they might have been tight like this a couple of years ago. But I think she's sick to death of the complaints coming in about him. I think she's sick to death of the rumours going around about her leadership on Bohol. I think she's sick to death about the stink that this man is causing all over Taliban. Because it's getting around. It's all over the bloody internet. We know that for sure. And this is the thing when you're a corrupt, grubby little official, even in the backwaters, you don't want it advertised. Here's the worst advertising she can have. Because she's negligent in her duties by allowing him to do everything he's doing. People are hearing about this guy all over the Philippines, which means they'll be hearing about her negligence, allowing him to operate. Which means that with this huge problem on Bohol of all these people willing to kill people for a small amount of money called ride in tandem, I think that Brian Smith should be really very worried about his personal safety instead of walking around everybody as though he's bulletproof. I think he's going to find out he's not. I actually predict that he's going to get shot. I feel it in my bones. His disgusting attitude towards Filipinos, and how things are done there, it's going to get him shot. Well, look at it. Bohol is the capital of the Philippines for ride and tandem killings. It's in the bloody news there. Go and read it. In the Bohol Chronicle, it's there. Bohol is the hotspot of the Philippines It's so easy to find someone who's willing for a very small amount of money to kill somebody. It's plague proportions over there. Well, don't you think that an arsehole like him, a fat, big-mouth foreigner, dirty, filthy, scruffy bastard that he is, continually running down every Filipino that you come across? Well, no. Don't you think that he's going to be in the firing line one day? I do. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. But not only is he running down Filipinos and everything Filipino, he's running down us foreigners too. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but to be honest, you get to the point where you just had enough of someone's bullshit. You just had enough of the bullshit. And when you've had enough, really enough, you put a stop to it. So, yes, it's crazy that one of Boss Hogg's friends on his video before was murdered by a bunch of guys. Yeah, Jerry. It's probably not very expensive, very well placed if you make people mad. Well, this is it. Now, Jerry, he tried to make this guy out as being the big, tough, hard man. Well, that big, tough, hard man got his brains blown out by people because they had enough of his bullshit. I think that Boss Hogg is shit scared now because he's got no muscle. He deliberately and willingly and basically made it known, oh, look, I've got Jerry, I've got muscle. You know, anybody tries to give me a hard time, I just have to ring up Jerry and he'll come around with the boys and I'm safe. Well, Jerry got his head blown off because Jerry was a big mouth arsehole. He was just a thug who took it too far and he got riding tandemed. This is your mate, Chef Kano. So you were right there.
Was this the guy that was going to sell hog crayfish? Was this the crayfish guy?
Yeah, Jerry was the big, hard man. He owned the junkyard. He was the bulldozer driver. He was the guy that threatened the farmers that if they didn't give up their land, they'd get in trouble, you know, blah, blah, blah. He was a thug. He was just a barrio thug. It wouldn't surprise me if he was a riding tandem man himself. Wouldn't surprise me at all. He was a barrio thug. He was definitely a bloody druggie. He had criminal written all over him. And it's no wonder he got bloody killed. No wonder. You know, like the thing that I know some guys on Mactan. I know some guys around Cordova, and they really are hard men. I mean, I know guys there that are really hard men, but they don't go around advertising it like Jerry. They don't walk around, you know, with cut off muscle man T-shirts and acting tough and pushing people out of the way and blah, 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 like he did. He just acted as though he was the big man and everybody had to get out of his way. Well, the real hard man, he's a real hard man, but he doesn't go around advertising it. He's quiet about it. He walks down the street, but he doesn't shoulder people out the way. You know what I mean? Well, that was the kind of idiot that Jerry was. He thought he was bulletproof until someone put bullets in him and he found out he wasn't bulletproof. So, Boss Hogg, even your own mate that you thought was your hard man, bodyguard type muscle, no. Even he got done. So I would be thinking to myself, Chef Kano, shut your fucking mouth because it's coming your way, boy. It is coming your way. And it wouldn't surprise me if the people, hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if people like even Mayor Garcia were considering knocking you off. Because you know how things are done in the Philippines. Everybody knows how things are done in the Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, especially in politics. If there's someone you don't like, you don't outvote them. You just kill them. You just kill them. That's how it works in the Philippines. If a politician doesn't like a news reporter, they kill him. If a politician doesn't like a TV presenter, they kill them. There's no if, buts, and maybes in the Philippines. You just get killed. And Brian Smith is doing nothing to enhance the reputation of the officials in Taliban. He's making total asses out of them. He's made a total ass out of the fire chief by getting a fake permit. There's no way that place has got a fire permit legally and properly. No way. None of the gas connections there are legal. So his fire permit isn't worth the paper it's written on. So he's made a total idiot out of the whole fire department. He's made a total idiot out of the mayor's office again for a fake mayor's permit. The mere fact that we've sent complaint after complaint after complaint for his smoking in and on and around the premises, so that makes a fucking idiot out of the health inspector, out of the health office, district health office. He's making the whole lot of them look like fucking idiots. And we're telling more people in bigger, higher places. We're taking it to congressmen, board members, senators. We're taking it to Manila. They're starting to get to know the Taliban, that the people that are supposed to be running Taliban are what Brian Smith says they are, lazy, useless bastards. Now, the one thing about being a lazy, useless bastard in the Philippines is you don't like it being advertised, and you certainly don't like people upstairs hearing about it. Well, we're making sure that the people upstairs are hearing about it. We're making sure that the real people in power in the Philippines are hearing about the slack, lackadaisical attitude of the local officials in Taliban. I don't think Mayor Garcia likes the sound of that. She doesn't want to be put on the map for all those reasons. That's the last thing she wants. She doesn't want to be shown for giving favoritism and favors to some loser, piece of shit, fat slob foreigner. She doesn't want that at all. But that's what's happening, because we're making sure that people up the line and way above her head are finding out about it. So, Boss Hog, Chef Kano, I were you, I would just roll up into a ball and dry up and shut up and blow away, because all you are doing is attracting really, really bad karma. And bad karma in the Philippines, the way you're attracting, comes on a motorbike with two blokes, one holding a pistol. That's what I'm saying. You are really, really, really putting yourself in the firing line. Not from me. I'm not saying from me. I'm saying what you're doing. You are making such an ass out of yourself, but you're making an ass out of the public officials there. With all your bluster and blowhole and bullshit, the way you are completely flouting every rule and regulation, and we keep complaining to them, and we keep telling them, to watch your videos and see just how stupid they look because of you. They're going to get sick of it. And I don't think they care about knocking off a person like you, because this is how things work in the Philippines. And I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm not promoting anything. I am saying how things work in the Philippines, truthfully, honestly, and up front. If you don't like it, Smith, well, tough luck. If you don't want me to say the truth about you, stop making lies up against my wife. It works both ways, you fat git. If you think that you can sit there on your live streams talking filth about my wife and get away with it, forget it. So I might just start a huge email, telephone, letter writing campaign to everybody that I can think of over and above your Mayor Garcia to let them know what you're doing in Taliban and how useless the public officials are. They're not going to like it. And they will know exactly who the Ride and Tandem guys are. They're probably their brothers. They're probably their sons or their cousins. They'll know exactly who they are. And they don't want to hear their name keep mentioning by this fat, useless slob who's lying to everybody or telling everybody that they've got them under their thumb. Oh, yeah, I've got a fire permit because he's an idiot. I've got him under control. I'm his boss. He dances to my tune. He's my puppet. Because that's basically what you're saying to people by purporting that you've got all these permits in a place that doesn't deserve them. There is no way that you'll get a fire permit with all that shit in your restaurant. No way. So that, as I say, makes an ass out of the fire department in Taliban. You made an ass out of the entire division in the mayor's office that issues mayor's permits, because they've done it completely, utterly, and totally wrongly. There's no way you should have a mayor's permit, which means there's no way you should have a business. And you don't have a business. You can't get one because in your name you'd get nothing. You'd get arrested and deported. That's why you had to put it in your second best name, because she's too dumb to know any better and too stupid. Because you can't get it in your own name, because then you would be found out who you are, where you are, and you'd be arrested and deported. Ladies and gentlemen, this fool needs shooting. I've got guests for dinner. It's been great to see everybody. Elaine, can you grab that door, please? I've got to go. We've got this bowl up for dinner. So it's been a great live stream. Michael Ernesto, thanks. But
yes, no problem. Thank you, Jeff.
As you heard the doorbell, I think that's Oh, that's Paul and his wife. She just arrived from the Philippines yesterday. She's actually the one who brought me the Pasalubong. But then Ray and his wife are turning up later this afternoon too. They're also coming for dinner, and Kelso will be here. So I've really got to go without, look rude if I'm just sitting here talking on the internet.
Understood.
Okay.
Jeff.
Well, thanks everybody. But listen, I can tell you right now, Brian Gramble Smith, Chef Kano, is failing at his restaurant as we all knew he would, and his new squeeze, his new drama, his new way to suck you guys blind is this money grabbing donations that he's going to want for his house build. Don't forget that. I told you last week that there'd be a new drama to suck you for money, and it looks like this new house build's going to be the one. Thanks everybody. We'll catch you next time. I really appreciate your time today, and we will see you soon. Bye now.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. See you
Thanks
later.
everybody.
Have a good one, Jeff.